Hey everyone, this is JDC Cards with another deck profile. With the release of GD02, the biggest support in my opinion is in blue and red with the addition of more red cards that ping and the introduction of Titans for blue. Today I'll be going over the blue red ping mid-range deck that I'll be testing out once the set releases. Make sure to stick around to the end of the video to see a test run of the deck and wing table. So starting out with the units, we have 4 copies of Gun Tank. This is pretty standard from the GD01 set and build. There's not much here that we could have added or changed. I think this is just fine. And then next we have 4 copies of the Hyzak, which is just the Titans version of the gym. And the upside of this card, instead of like just leaving the gym, is that this is a Titans obvious unit, obviously. So this helps if you remove any shield late in the game and you have the Psycho Gundam paired on board. It kind of helps it repair that too, which if it's linked with 4 lets you potentially draw additional cards. For level 3, we have 3 copies of Haman Com's Gaza C, which when paired allows to ping 1 damage to any level 3 or lower. I would say the introduction of more cards in GD02 that just ping units regardless of being active or rest is what I believe makes this deck in the meta discussion and kind of lets it get over the hump that we kind of saw in the regionals for GD01. And then next to round it out, we have 2 copies of the Marasai, which links with any Titans trait. If you link this with Jared on curve and have the Hyzak from your turn 1 already on board, it becomes a 5-4, which I feel like in the early game is extremely difficult for certain decks to kind of get over and kind of remove early in the game. And it could potentially just stay on board and just keep swinging at life or to keep board control and stuff like that. And, you know, it being a Titans also allows you to trigger the Psycho Gundam repair too as well late in the game. For level 4, we have 3 copies of the Vanilla Kshatriya. We're including this card just because it links with any Cyber Newtype trait, which is both Marita Cruz and for Murasame. Then we have 2 copies of Sayla's Light Type Gun Cannon. This is an interesting card with just a deploy effect. Choose 1 enemy unit token and deal 2 damage with it. In GD01, you know, tokens were very relevant either through Striker Pack or Corsica base. Like, for example, if your opponent plays Corsica base, this just being played will immediately remove the Tall Geese, which is, I feel like, blue and red was kind of missing. I know white has the Sword Strike, which, you know, could easily bounce that back. Then we have 1 copy of Sugai's Gelgoog from G-Quux. This again is just a deploy effect. Choose 1 enemy unit that is level 5 or higher and deal 2 damage to it. This is kind of, I run this as like a 1 copy as like an extra spice card, which could potentially help our next level 5 unit kind of maximize its effect. So for level 5, we have 1 copy of the Bailaron. I hope I'm saying that right. And when paired, choose 1 rested enemy unit with 3 or less HP. It won't be set as active during the start of your opponent's next surge. So you kind of stun 1 card for a turn. And, you know, we're only running 1 copy of this as well because I feel like to maximize the effect, you're kind of playing this in the late game in a scenario where stunning an enemy unit can kind of help you survive an additional turn or kind of help you just get another turn in to potentially control board or go for game, stuff like that. Then we have 3 copies of Kshatriya, which allows you to ping 1 to 2 units when paired. And if you don't have the Marita Cruz or the 4 Murasame, and you can pair this with the Haman Karn, and that lets you ping an additional unit for an extra damage. So potentially you could either ping 1 unit for 2 damage or ping 3 units for 1 damage, which is extremely strong. And then finally, we have 3 copies of the Psycho Gundam MA mode, which repairs 2 and can potentially help us get some of that card draw if it's linked with 4 Murasame. So it's pretty standard in that. And it can link with the Marita Cruz to get some more ping damage off on the board. For level 6, we have 2 copies of the Psycho Gundam. Having Breach can kind of help us control board while still pressuring either a base or shields late in the game, and then also if it's paired with Marita Cruz or linked with 4 Murasame, it can potentially just keep recovering HP and kind of just gets hard for your opponent late in the game, depending on your board control and the board state, to just kind of remove this card. And then for level 7, we have 2 copies of the Cubile, which when linked gives the unit suppression and allows us to ping a unit for 2 damage. I feel like that's what kind of the ping decks were missing. You kind of had to go aggro with it before, and I think now with the Cubile and the Psycho Gundam, you can kind of build out the mid range, and if you could also in a scenario kind of remove this card or try to add in the Sinan Juhai maneuver with the full frontal, but I chose not to go that route. And then for pilots, we just have one copy of a Jared Mesa, which kind of helps us pair the Mersai or the Bailarant. We have four copies of Marita Cruz, four copies of Ford Mursame, who's the new pilot in GD02, which her effect is during link during your turn when this unit recovers HP. If you have four or less cards in your hand, draw one, which anytime you can gain some draw late in the game to kind of either see an extra unit or see an extra pilot is, I think, is extremely important. And then we have three copies of Haman Karn, which is just, she's also the new unit, new pilot in GD02, which when paired, if this unit is red, choose one enemy unit whose level is equal to or lower than this unit, deal one damage. Again, just another ping option that was just added to this deck. Then for bases, we have two copies of the Relula. Again, it's choose one enemy with 5 or less AP, deal 1 damage to it. Again, it's just the purpose of this deck, I feel like now, is just you can just stack and stack and stack this ping damage and just be able to clear units without actually having to attack into them. Then we have two copies of the new base Shuji's Hideout, which when destroyed, choose one enemy unit that is level 4 or lower, deal 1 damage to it. So this is kind of like a 1/5. I feel like if you get an aggro opponent or something like that, it can kind of help you get some ping early in the game or late in the game to kind of help you on your next turn kind of either play a unit or a pilot or a command that you'll see that has additional ping to kind of clear that unit off board. Then for commands, we have two copies of a Show Resolve. I think if you run blue or white, you have to include some of the draw power that those colors have. It's just too crucial late in the game. I feel like in GD01 where you were down to 1 to 2 cards, and if you saw an extra card, you might have seen that unit or pilot you needed to kind of go for game. Then we have one copy of the new red command, All Range Attack, which is just deal 1 damage to all enemy units other than link units. I have this at 1 because this could potentially be strong. I feel like GD02 adds a lot of level 3/2 cost kind of vanilla links, which if we see, the strategy or the meta shifting towards just linking everything that you can as soon as you can, you might not be able to maximize the amount of ping that you can with this card. And then finally, we have Undying Persistence, which is just choose one enemy unit, deal 1 damage to it. Again, I think this one's kind of a no-brainer because it can be active, it can be rested, it doesn't really matter. I could see myself upping this card and kind of replacing some of the other commands. Like if I don't need 2 copies of Show Resolve, or if I feel like the all-range attack isn't maximizing the potential ping I could be getting, I might just up this, especially with it only being a 1 cost is pretty easy. So that's pretty much all I had for the deck. So this is the blue-red ping deck that I'll be testing out once GD02 is released, and I'll be bringing it to locals to see how it does and kind of play test more on Wing Table in the meantime. Let me know in the comments what cards you would potentially change in the deck, or if what other deck you're excited to test out once GD02 releases. I feel like with more purple cards and stuff like that, the range of decks that people can curate is very large at this point, I feel like, and that's the one thing I love about this card game. It's not like One Piece or anything where you're leader locked or color locked. You can kind of play around and make a mono red or a mono blue and kind of see where it takes you. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Gundam TCG content. I'll catch you guys in the next video, and then we'll roll right into the gameplay.